Well, Dave, in a week where your players' mentality, even their character, has been questioned, how good did that second half feel today?
No, yes, it felt great. Massive credit to the players. Because I spoke at half time and I spoke at the end there. We can make changes and we can rant and do whatever else not at them, but ultimately they need to go out and perform. But the big thing for me is we have quality and we have ability within our dressing room. We absolutely know that. Maybe sometimes it's lost in the fact that you think the ideal way to win a game of football is in a pretty way. That has to be backed up by hard work and spirit and heart and all them things. And they've shown that in abundance in the second half by being organised from a shape, playing forward, dropping on second balls. People say do the basics because there's not much detail to it, but and then allow our creative players at the top end of the pitch to maybe go and provide some moments for us, which they've certainly done. So to do that on the back of Tuesday and the adversity we had there, and then the adversity of the first half, to go and do that in the second half is huge credit to them.
And of course, credit to you for the changes you made. You went early with those changes, I think 10 minutes before the break, and obviously getting Kyle on as well was important, and getting Fevs on. I think a lot of the textbooks kind of say you play 4-4-1 when you've got 10 men, which you did, but you went with a box for that 4. What was the thinking there? It was
more 4-4-1 out of possession and right. Try and get Fevs and Jack close to what's in possession and be a 4-2-3.
Quite narrow.
Yeah, knowing that you're going to play forward and Watts does what he does really, really well. If you can have a threat in behind and keep Burton honest and edgy, then if the ball drops down and you do get a Fev or Jack on the ball, then their ability to travel with it and dribble may have got us opportunities. And that was the case. I thought Watts was fantastic. It takes away from what we want to do. It takes away, doesn't really play into the true ability that Ollie has, but we needed midfielders to drop on second balls and try and get us up the pitch and cause some pressure. Obviously we then have the 2 really good moments to get ourselves in front of them. Becomes a different job, still remaining a threat going forward, but being organised within a 4-4-1 shape and getting across and trying to prevent things as much as possible. I think you have to accept that the ball's going to go into your box when you're playing with 10. So you need to defend your box and you probably need to have a little bit of luck, and I think we did one really, really well and maybe had a little slice of the other.
In terms of the red card, as a former centre-half yourself, what do you, if you're Brad Hills today, what do you do? Do you let Ty Shade through to get the shot away, or do you pull him back like Brad did?
I put myself in a better covering position to start with. It's poor defending and has been punished with what it deserved to be punished with. And Brad got away with it after 3 minutes of the game when another ball went forward. We didn't win a first contact. That's not the problem. As a defender, you've got to be ever the pessimist and put yourself in a position where you can pull your mate out the mire. He didn't do that. And the second time he did it, he then makes or compounds a poor decision with another poor decision, probably on the back of the fact that we're 1-0 down, because if it's 0-0, maybe you do let him go through and know that if it goes to 1-0, then you're still in the game. If 1-0 goes to 2-0, you don't know what the game looks like. So there's always going to be, not that I think he can think and contextualise in that moment. I think it's instinctive that if someone's going through, you grab someone. That happens all the time. It's like I say, it's a poor decision, but it's a poor decision on the back of really, really poor defending, which he needs to learn from.
I might misquote you, but you said something in the week about seeing the players reacting to adversity, and obviously the goal's bad enough, but then the sending off, you've got a lot of adversity to cope with. They really showed that character in the second half, didn't they? And I think Kyle Wootton, as you've mentioned already, sort of typified that today.
You have to have that, and from somebody who, in terms of my career and what I've done as a player and as a manager, it's all been built upon that, if you like. And I don't mind saying it. I would compete for everything, not in an overly nasty way, but I want to win everything I do. And if someone needs to be defended against properly and someone needs to be, I'm going up for headers and I need to make contact with somebody, then so be it. If I'm going to work myself, you've got to do that. I do that every day as a manager, and as a minimum want the players do that. And I think from a supporter's perspective, every single football club in the land, if you ask their supporters what they want you to see there's a a pride in wearing the shirt and playing for the badge, because through ability more than anything else, all the people that are here watching can't do that. So you've been given that opportunity. So go and show what it means. And sometimes that gets lost, and sometimes you need reinforcement and a realisation that as a minimum that's what it needs to be. The players absolutely showed that in the second half. Like I say, it's easy for me to make changes and roll the dice. It makes no difference to what I do really and the words I say, because I've been where they are. You're never feeling great with 10 men. You're never feeling great a goal down when you've not been very good, and you're probably questioned a little bit. But you need to go out and perform, and did that unbelievably well. And that will stand us in good stead. And for anyone that was misconstrued about what we want to be as a team, and we want to have possession and want to pass the ball and we want to look at all them things, brilliant, but it is only on the back of competing for every ball, for working really hard, for being organised, for being front foot, for being aggressive, for wanting to win your duels and get the one over on the man that's opposite you. All them things will take us an awful long way.
There's not many in this ground could have scored that free kick, is there?
I said to Clint as the free kick had been given, when I think Ollie and Danny were sort of asked Danny to come wide to potentially put a cross in the box, and I said to Clint, these Puma balls don't fly as well as the Nike ones, and then Ollie produced that. As I said, you win the game with your quality and your ability, but you only do that on the back of what we've done to get us into that position. So again, a ball forward, drop on a second, get a free kick, get a foul, gives us an opportunity, and we have somebody of the ability that can do that to win us a game of football. I say it will be worthy of winning every game or any game. But it's the other side of it that pleases me, the ability to dig in the last 10 minutes when you get to a point as a player, again, because I've been there, where you think you've climbed the mountain and you just haven't quite, and then something goes against you in the last bit, and all of a sudden a 2-1 becomes a 2-2. A 2-2 wouldn't have been the worst result based on what the position we were in, but you've got yourself so close. So to see it over the line, to be able to celebrate players amongst each other, celebrating people bodies on the floor and headers and all them bits, and especially at that end in front of our supporters, I think will do everybody the world of good.
You mentioned that, putting your body on the line. I think Joseph did that when he came on, Callum Conley in that last 10 minutes, but Ethan Pye as well, some terrific blocks, some great game-saving headers as well in that last 10 minutes from Ethan. He looked absolutely determined that he was going to see out his 100th appearance with the 3 points. There's not many players get to 100 appearances at that young age. I think your old teammate Rob Clare might be one of them. There's not many though, and it's a tremendous achievement for him personally today.
It is, yeah, and it is for him at the club. But I think take away from that, it's 100 appearances, but he's played games for other teams as well, and for someone of his like I say his years, it is great credit to him. And I spoke last week about it, that the pleasing thing is that he continues to improve and go around his job in a, I won't say unfashionable manner, but you don't really notice. He's not one that makes loads and loads of mistakes. He tends to get through a game, and the good bits you see are the bits, like you say there, where he's making a tackle or he's pretty unflustered. And yeah, I think I spoke when Ben made his 400th appearance, and you wanted to make it a memorable one. It may be memorable for the wrong reasons, or maybe it was going to be memorable for the wrong reasons and in a bad memory, but now it's completely different, and it's a really positive one.
And just finally, you get to go to Wigan twice in a week now. Probably not the greatest draw for us, not the greatest draw for them either.
No, I think probably both teams would be saying exactly the same thing. Looking forward to a big draw and all going when it came out, but especially when we play them the days later in the league, if you like. But an opportunity for both teams. Like I say, we'll make some changes, and it'll be a chance for some players to get some minutes. I'm sure they'll do the same. But both teams will fancy themselves to win, progress, and then hope that big draw comes in the next round. Undoubtedly, we'll probably be disappointed again on the back of that. But we'll go there and try and win. And we had a really good result there last year in the league, and quite evidently that's the most important, but the most important